Hey guys, this is Anime Ballsy here, and today we are going to be doing the fourth part to what if Goku had the Speed Force. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video. King Cold feels disbelief at first. He thought this was only in Legends. The legendary Super Saiyan is a real thing. Frieza tried to rid his empire of that man of legend. It was likely false, but he could see how these people grew. After every battle, every mission, they'd heal and grow. It was better not to take any chances. However, out of the small handful that survived the massacre, the Super Saiyan is born. Now, what are those chances? Vegeta's aura flares out wildly, making him look almost like a star, being this massive source of energy and light. He sprints toward King Cold and takes him off guard with his immense speed. He leaves a beautiful trail of light and his advance alarms Goku. The Saiyan can perceive him as he travels and has the time to even think over what could happen after this. Vegeta drives up a deadly uppercut, slamming King Cold's jaw up. Several teeth crush from the heavy impact, and it also lifts the Titan off his feet. The former Emperor just falls and hits the ground, seemingly lifeless. A few seconds pass and there is some minor movement. He strugglingly turns onto his front and coughs out even more teeth and blood. Vegeta slowly walks toward him, now confident and bold. His ego is boosted yet again upon seeing him. King Cold shouts and tries to catch him off guard with a ki blast aimed at him. Against someone like Vegeta, an attack like that is useless. He can see it coming before it's even fired. All it takes is a simple swat to knock it away. It's sent flying off into the distance before slowly disintegrating. King Cold then throws himself up, aiming to catch him by surprise again. However, Vegeta just dips under the incoming punch. With his torso bent backwards, he throws up a kick and lands it cleanly on his chin once again. This second attack is the finisher. The giant fighter loses consciousness and topples down. He comes down with a heavy thud and it looks like the job is done. However, Vegeta doesn't see it that way. You can see the slight breaths that he takes with his chest. He's not done yet. So Vegeta crushes his head with his classic brutal slam. Goku gets sprayed with droplets of King Cold's blood and flesh, and it leaves him beyond shock to move. How could Vegeta do this to anyone? Even if this person is his enemy, even if he detests them, there's no room for this brutality and inhumane behavior. You didn't have to do that, Goku shouts, unable to stay silent any longer. I didn't, Vegeta asks, as if Goku disrespected him with that statement. Billions of Saiyans, billions, Vegeta roars, were under his tyrannical rule. He used us like his pets, like his dogs. He's strong in his own right. He could have done something himself, but he stayed back and forced us to complete his bidding. He kept us strapped down, squeezed by shackles. Why should I give such a person mercy? Vegeta asks. Now that's out the way, I can get to why I'm really here, Vegeta states, walking closer to Goku. His eyes flash a dark evil red as he stops only inches from Goku's face. Goku doesn't back away, but he does feel like doing so. He can feel this invisible aura of bloodthirst focused on him, almost afflicting him. Vegeta's aura rages as his emotions flare up. Goku can see this and stays on edge. He doesn't want to run into something and get seriously hurt here. The two Saiyans circle each other, but this is only done for a short while. Vegeta leaps at Goku, flipping forward to then drive down a kick. He just slips by Goku, who leaps out the way and enters flight. He then swings out an arm, releasing a wave of ki blasts down toward Goku. The golden ki blasts soar at him in this massive swarm, but Goku is incredibly elegant. He punches one, causing it to detonate on his knuckles, then performs a quick side roll over the rest of the blasts. As he's spinning, he stops and throws out a ki blast of his own. This one is far quicker than the ones that Vegeta threw out, but he can dodge as well. The blast certainly moves faster than him, but he can just perceive it so well. Also, it's coming at him from a distance. This gives him the time to enter an optimal position and literally throw himself out the way, if you will. Both fighters advance toward one another after landing simultaneous punches onto each other's knuckles. The ground quakes under this impact, with a number of rocks getting sent afloat. However, this impact gives Goku a whole lot of insight. Vegeta isn't near him. After fighting Frieza, it gave him a large number of abnormal Zenkais. When he was in the face of someone just so much stronger than him, his body granted him the power needed to defeat him. However, Vegeta wasn't granted a similar luxury. Vegeta falls forward and throws an elbow, but Goku leans back and evades gracefully. Vegeta can see he's lower down and aims for one of his legs. He throws in a swinging kick, but Goku still manages to jump over his incoming swing and evade. As he flips over him, he then goes in to swing down the heel of his foot and hits him cleanly on his back. This sets it in for Vegeta as well. His head slams down into the ground below and leaves him nearly knocked out. Vegeta lifts his head and notices a tooth he's lost. Not only that, but everything around him continues spinning while he's completely still. Goku doesn't want to drag this along more than he needs to. Vegeta flares out with anger, being empowered and invigorated by the negative Speed Force. However, Goku's aura outclasses Vegeta's in terms of ferocity and intensity. Both speedsters charge at one another, breaking the ground they're stood upon. Goku covers at least 4 times the distance that Vegeta does at the same time, and his fist carries far greater kinetic energy. Vegeta almost sprints into his attack. He falls flat onto his back and stops moving completely. "Let's go. Go now," Goku shouts back to his friends behind him, then they all disperse. Vegeta remains knocked out for at least a minute before he awakes. To him, the fight is still going on and he almost shoots up into action. His eyes dart across the surroundings, but he finds nothing at all. Of course, from his point of view, he can't be too sure about what's just happened. Did he lose again? That thought sends a chill down his spine. His face grows warm, boiling hot. Vegeta has nowhere to go now. Tracking down and killing Kakarot is his only mission. Therefore, he takes in a deep breath and closes his eyes. He begins mapping out his surroundings, sensing the life and ki around him. He's such a genius that it only took him seeing others using this technique a select few times for it to become natural for him. Goku is heading back to his home with Gohan, then notices someone flying in his direction. It's a tiny ki, almost too small for them to even be able to fly. This makes him assume that they're human, but this flight means that they can't be any ordinary human. As they approach him, he can get a better picture of him. He has luscious purple hair that reminds him of Bulma. He has piercing blue eyes and the cold, fearless gaze. Even with his power level so low, he can't help but feel alarmed. Trunks approaches the duo and can't help but focus on the young Gohan in front of him. In the face, he sees the corpse that he met those years ago. The fuel that granted him his Super Saiyan form. Those gruesome images go flying around in his head and he struggles to keep himself calm and collected. However, he reminds himself that he's come here with a mission. He cannot let the trauma that the androids inflicted on him control him. This brings him to lightly chuckle. Even in a totally different timeline, so far away from those siblings, he can never truly escape them. "Who are you?" Goku asks. "Where's Frieza? He should be arriving here soon." "He's dead, a long time ago." "Were you working under him?" he asks. "No, He's dead," Trunks asks. Of course, he doesn't want to immediately come off as someone from the future that knows everything. Ideally, he'd reveal that to just Goku and not Gohan as well. "Yes, someone on this planet killed him. Do not fret, you are free now," Goku explains. "I promise you, I'm not a soldier," he explains. "I'm actually a Saiyan," Trunks reveals. This brings shock to both Gohan and Goku. He doesn't exactly look like one due to his purple hair. There aren't many of them just walking around anyway. They thought that they had already seen all the Saiyans still alive. Them, Vegeta, Nappa and Raditz, no one else still alive. Next, Trunks goes on to reveal everything about why he's here and what's coming. Goku is quite surprised by what they'll soon face, ultra-powerful androids created solely to destroy them. It's almost hard to believe at first, but there's no reason not to believe this person. His next nugget of information makes his claims even more credible. Goku can see the emotion in his voice as he talks, even if he tries to hide it. That sort of trauma cannot be hidden. However, as the group are still conversing, they can sense this massive signature hurtling toward them. Trunks unsheathes his sword, while lifting his suppressions. Goku looks on edge as well since he knows who it is. "Stay back, Vegeta," Goku shouts. "Father," Trunks whispers. The appearance of Vegeta isn't like what he was told. He can't place a finger on it, but just being in his presence puts him off a little bit. His skin looks a decent bit paler than their own. "You won't run from me," Vegeta shouts before cackling. He flies toward Goku, entering Super Saiyan in his advance, but Goku does the same. He throws a punch, but it's simply tapped aside. Another punch heads his way, but Goku evades yet again, then follows by grabbing his forearm. Next, he tightens, then pulls powerfully before headbutting him. The impact is strong and nearly knocks Vegeta out right there and then. Goku follows with a strong elbow followed by an acrobatic spinning kick to launch him downward. After that attack, it doesn't look like Vegeta's getting up. "I'm sorry about that, I'll deal with him later," Goku says, before realizing what he just did. "How can you be Vegeta's son? That makes no sense," Goku says, totally taken aback with surprise. "I'm not sure. This timeline already looks quite different to the one I thought I would encounter," Future Trunks reveals, with his eyes locked on his fallen father. The way Vegeta was described to him, he had a dark past, yes, but he atoned for his sins and fought with his life to protect the people on this planet that he loved. What was this person here? It couldn't be his father, there'd just be no way. Anyways, they move on from this and Trunks accepts that things are just different here. Goku informs the others and their training begins. He still has Vegeta in the back of his mind, but he hasn't come back in a good few hours, so he leaves that and believes he's learned his lesson. He can't sense a strong signature that could be him, further reducing his alarm. Across the planet, Vegeta is stood ahead of someone he didn't think he'd see again. "So you're alive," Vegeta says disdainfully. "It's none other than Raditz." "I am, and now I'm stronger than ever before," Raditz claims. Vegeta chuckles in reaction. Raditz's confidence here is funny for him. Now Vegeta can sense ki, and he can tell that he's much stronger than before. He'd place him around that of a Ginyu Force soldier. Raditz's power level is actually 60,000 at this point, so it's in that ballpark, of course far below what Vegeta is capable of. Raditz powers up, growing in confidence upon feeling the power that he outputs. Vegeta can see that and just finds it funny yet again. "I'll work by your side if you want, but I won't let you control me," Raditz declares. Vegeta speed blitzes Raditz and grabs him by his neck before he can even blink. Vegeta gives a light squeeze, but this leaves Raditz's face totally red. "You've picked your fight at the wrong time," Vegeta says, almost grumbling as he says such. After being literally humiliated by Goku just now, he's going to find a way to get his ego back. Squeezing harder, Vegeta smiles once he sees blood rushing out Raditz's popped neck. His eyes go red as the veins become visible, and he begins coughing out blood. He flails around to try and free himself to no avail. Seconds later, he falls still and he's dead. Vegeta gives a short, gratifying look to his corpse before flying off. Raditz is dead just like that. He worked for a whole year motivated by Vegeta's remorselessness against Nappa. Also for being seen as weak his whole life and being seen as almost detached from everyone around him. He was alone before his death, and here he is, alone as a corpse. It isn't long before Vegeta is off-world again and their training ensues. During this time, Vegeta's mind doesn't calm, it doesn't soften, it remains as evil and insane as it has been. The years he spends training only intensifies those harsh emotions. To test out his powers, and just for the thrill of it, he ventures off to various planets and slaughters all the people there, just as he did so as a soldier. Now he doesn't do it under someone else's will, but solely on his own accord. It gives him this freedom, this excitement. Every time he takes someone down, he imagines Goku being behind his knuckles, below the soles of his shoes. In the corner of his eye, he can always see him, even so far away that low class Saiyan never truly leaves. After a good few years, 3 years to be exact, Vegeta feels ready. In this time, he hasn't just grown stronger, but acquired the next step in the Super Saiyan transformation. Ascended Super Saiyan, Super Vegeta is born. Back on Earth, Goku and the crew stand over the city of Sasebo. They watch closely, having gathered after sensing a decrease in ki. It's odd, because they can't sense a source. This must be a feature of these androids, that they can't be sensed. Goku scans the area with his laser-sharp eyes. He may have perception, but not supervision. Everything is still just a slowly moving blur from this distance. They're going to have to jump in. Goku leaps off the cliff, then dives down into the city below him. The air rushes over his clothes, and he extends his arms to give himself an almost angelic, regal appearance. The group all dive in there as well, with Yamcha being the unlucky first victim out the group. Dr. Gero savagely thrusts his hand through his chest, and Goku is alerted to his presence by his dwindling ki. He leaps over several streets, arriving by Dr. Gero in no time. With a graceful snatch, he brings Yamcha out of harm's way before racing toward Gero. However, as he speeds forward, he can see trickles of golden lightning emitting off Dr. Gero. Initially, he denies it and looks to see if this is just extensions of his own aura. The electricity crackles can reach far sometimes. However, he can see the faint golden glow in this old man's eyes. He's a speedster as well somehow. Goku grinds to a halt out of pure surprise from this power. "Greetings, Saiyan," Dr. Gero states, calm and collected. Goku focuses on the red ribbon emblem on his hat and now knows where this man comes from. "The Red Ribbon Army? How? I destroyed that thing years ago," Goku comments. "I know you did." "Well, you almost did. However, you left behind an ember, and so the fire wasn't totally extinguished. It was only a matter of time before that ember would turn into a raging, burning flame again." "The ember is me, Dr. Gero, that has returned with a vengeance," Dr. Gero states. "I must also thank you. My intelligence got me far, but not all the way. The power that you have opened my eyes more than I thought they ever could. There's a bottomless infinity that surrounds us. Invisible to the naked eye, invisible to the senses, but there still, a power I've now tapped into," he reveals. Tapped into? From what he understands about the energy, it's not something that can be tapped into by force. Even Guru affirmed this claim. He stated that he was chosen. Why would the force choose someone like this? The way that he was talking made it also sound like he figured out how to gain the energy. Goku puts this behind him though. He isn't here to ask such questions. He's here to protect his world from these maniacal fighters. Goku asks if they instead want to fight in a wasteland away from the city. Gero seems to oblige but goes against his word and immediately shoots out laser beams from his eyes. The pure bright beams of energy shoot out but seem to move in slow motion to Goku. He might use the Speed Force, but it's nothing special. After 3 years of training, with his Speed Force greatly accelerating his Zenkai boosts, Goku has reached a new level. He grabs Gero by his head and slams him into the concrete road. His laser eyes shoot straight through an overhead cloud and cause no harm. "I told you I didn't want to hurt anyone else here," Goku shouts. However, 19 rushes to his master's aid. As he advances, Goku notes the lack of Speed Force energy in his aura. He will be even easier to deal with. He evades 2 incoming punches before sweeping at the android's legs. He not only knocks the android down, but sweeps with such force that he rips his lower legs cleanly off. Straight after, he grabs the android by the torso, then slams down to break him apart. 19 is left in several pieces and is defeated just like that. After seeing Goku's explosive, dangerous power, Gero has only one mission: he must activate 17 and 18. His Speed Force aura crackles wildly and he attempts to catch Goku off guard and escape, however he's nowhere near fast enough. Gero leaps up onto an adjacent building only to find Goku standing directly in front of him. He attempts to shoot his laser eyes straight at Goku, but he dips under them and evades. The Saiyan then shoots out for his waist and slams him through the building they're stood upon. In their perspective, everything around them moves in slow motion. They're surrounded by this slowly moving cloud of debris yet to be fully accelerated by gravity. Gero coughs out blood from this single slam. Even after all of these years of preparation, he might just fail here. He's running out of options, and fast, extremely fast. There's no way that he can catch Goku by surprise, and this is why there's pretty much no way of him beating Goku. Gero might not beat Goku himself, but he has a few procedures in place to make sure that his will lives longer than himself. Fight with everything you have. 17, 18. Revive the empire that's fallen, revive the army, and slay Son Goku. Goku has slammed him again and he's now knocked out. Unbeknownst to him or any other Z fighters though, the true androids have been unleashed. The doors to their chambers slowly click open, releasing a thick white steam. They both take in long breaths and land on the lab floor. They've been activated, the siblings Android 17 and Android 18. They're strong and defiant, but they could never defy the mission ingrained into their psyche. Even if they despise that old man Gero, Goku must die. The two androids emerge and begin their search for him along with 17 that they've activated. The Z fighters are unable to directly track them since they lack signatures, leading to them first noticing them only after their first kills. The Z fighters are beginning to celebrate once they see Goku has taken down Gero and 19. However, they can sense another spot of decreasing ki. Actually, they can sense two. As for the second spot, they can locate a strong ki and decide to split up. Goku will take on what he assumes are the androids, the spot with no strong ki. The rest of the crew can go off to deal with the other threat that probably isn't an android. The group split off and Goku soon meets the three androids. They're in another city with 17 holding a helpless old man by his throat. The bleeding man has just let himself get dragged and is growing weak from the blood loss. Let him go, Goku orders, saddened by the man's pain. Why should I? 17 asks. If you'll fight with me, then fight me. Leave these people out of this, Goku orders. Fine then, 17 says, throwing the man aside. He cracks his knuckles and 18 steps ahead. Let me deal with him myself, 18 says. No, I can't let that happen. We were all made to kill him, not just you. Let's all get him, 17 says, stepping forward to meet level with her. 17 and 18 crackle with the electricity of the Speed Force as they give off menacing smiles. Two new speedsters, somehow. The two androids leap off and dart toward Goku. The Saiyan watches closely as they advance, tracking their every movement. They move with great speed, but nothing to make him transform just yet. He turns sideways, evading both incoming punches from the duo before stepping away from the two. Now the androids quickly change course, with 18 firing out a ki blast as she turns. Goku dips right under the blast before rolling forward and leaping away. 17 tries to chase after him in flight, placing his arms by his side and relying on the power of the Speed Force to shoot off almost like a bullet. It's a fascinating sight as streams of airflow snap off his streamlined body. The bright crackling lightning only adds to the bright display. However, he can't even come close to Goku. All he hits is his golden aura. Now the duo try fighting this way and soon see that they're having very little luck. Goku just continues dodging all of their attacks and does so with complete ease. The Saiyan's not even breaking a sweat but totally containing these fighters. Their will to kill him is great, almost a part of who they are. While 16 continues to calculate other methods of killing the Saiyan, the cyborgs are growing impatient and furious. This was not how things were supposed to go. 17 lands ahead of Goku after seeing 18 miss yet another punch. Goku steps back at least 20 meters in a near instant, and this showcasing breaks down 17's confidence. What he's left with is this bubbling pot of rage ready to let loose. The android roars toward Goku vehemently before pulling back both hands. He continuously hurls ki blasts at Goku, shouting with every throw. This massive barrage of ki blasts head toward Goku, but not one comes close to hitting him. 17 fires his last blast with bloodshot eyes from rage. However, Goku still hasn't been hit once. He stands there boldly, simply awaiting their next approach. Goku not throwing back any attacks only makes 17 angrier. He's treating them as inferiors, like they're not worthy of an attack from him. That very thought makes him furious, and he now can't even contain his anger. As 17 advances again, Goku shifts his strategy. He stops going on the defensive and throws his very first attack of this fight. To every spectator, his fist turns to a complete blur. He dodges 17's extended punch, stepping to the left of his right arm. In this same motion, his arm is swinging down for a perfectly timed counterpunch. The strike breaks the bones in 17's face while also knocking him back. Blood drips down from the open wound on his face. 18 goes in, but Goku lands a straight side kick to the abdomen, leaving her winded and greatly hurt. When 16 sees these two fallen androids, he realizes that it must all fall down to him. After some brief calculation, there's one thing that has the highest chance of success. He rips his metal forearms off with a neutral straight face, revealing several glowing hot metal barrels. He plants his feet and begins his ultimate attack, a large barrage of bright intense ki blasts right toward Goku. The intensity exceeds 17's puny blast barrage a great deal and leaves the area in a glowing hot sea of flames and explosions. However, behind this massive blast radius is Goku, who has still managed to evade every single blast. After a certain distance, the blasts explode on their own, and this means that he still hasn't been touched. His perception is far too great to be caught by an attack of this form. His eyes zoom across the terrain at lightning speed and he picks up volumes of information in a near instant. After this barrage is over, he darts off like an arrow back towards 16. A cloud of dust erupts in his wake from his insane speed and his electrical current bounces around this dirt. He throws another overhead right exactly like the one he landed on 17. Even though he used that predictable strike, he knows there's nothing these androids can even do to contest that. Within a single strike, he's ripped apart 16's whole torso. The androids are down at the hands of a Goku that didn't even feel the need to transform. Across the world, the Z fighters stand before a bizarre looking creature, a green insect-like individual with a grotesque appearance on top of that. None of them feel intimidated by the being, however. They can sense his ki and know that he isn't a great threat to them. From near the back of the crowd, Krillin jumps up and launches out his Destructo Disc. It swivels and buzzes toward the target, but Cell's counterattack leaves them dumbfounded. He creates his very own Destructo Disc, hurling it back and destroying Krillin's own. The fighters get showered in the sparkles of green and golden ki and are left frozen. How has Cell just copied his attack at will? Just what are they facing here? Cell then dons a rather familiar position, pulling back both arms, and with an arrogant smirk he focuses his energy into a powerful ball of ki. The ki is a pure blue colour and rings alarm bells for everyone ahead. The Kamehameha wave, Goku's technique. The ki causes the ground to rumble and they themselves quake in fear. Cell fires the blue energy wave and Trunks is the first one to step up. He's the strongest person here, he believes, and he unsheathes his own sword. Powering up into Super Saiyan, he lifts his sword to meet the incoming beam. The energy lands on his metal sword and forces him back a number of meters. However, his intuition was right and the blast parts ways, soaring past the fires into the buildings next to them. Massive clouds of smoke get released into the street and some of the Z fighters even get knocked off their feet. Trunks has barely managed to remain on his feet and takes a breath of relief after straining so hard. Upon doing so, he notices something under the thick cloud of smoke, 2 feet that he can't exactly recognize. He's aware of Goku's gi and knows it's not him. Now curious, he swings his sword repeatedly to part the smoke and sees Vegeta standing ahead of him with his arms crossed. His hair is a light bright blonde, meaning he's in Super Saiyan. That's the blast you were all crying over, Vegeta asks, turning back to Trunks. The face he sees almost horrifies him. His skin has turned an almost sickly pale colour, with this sinister greyness surrounding his eyes. He turns back to Cell with a small crackle of dark red lightning flowing over his skin. What are you supposed to be? Vegeta wonders, walking towards Cell. Before Cell even gets a word out, Vegeta blasts toward him. He slams his knuckles rough from intense training straight into Cell's jaw. The strike packs explosive, immense power that knocks Cell down. As he falls, Vegeta grabs him by his extended tail and swings him around wildly from building to building. His viciousness has somehow gotten worse than it was. It almost becomes hard to watch him. Placing his foot on Cell's back, he stomps down and cracks the concrete below. Right after, he grabs one of his arms and snaps it right off. Right after, he breaks his other arm and stomps his head further into the ground. Cell stops moving for a moment, only conscious from his healing abilities. His Namekian healing abilities regrow his limbs, but Cell's losing the will to fight. He begins searching around, trying to find a place to escape. Once he goes in to use his solar flare, Vegeta slices his head cleanly off in a single swipe. The speed force empowering him turns his flat hand almost into a sharp blade. His head snaps cleanly off. Somehow though, he doesn't fall. Vegeta, without a second thought, blasts him to smithereens and gets rid of him. A heavy weight has been lifted off the Z fighters, only for an even heavier one to be slammed back down. Some of them left relieved to see that Cell's gone, but the devilish face they see washes away that relief. Vegeta's far scarier than Cell, and it's not even close. Not only is he stronger, he's even more evil. He won't think twice about killing them in the most brutal, frightening ways. Luckily though, Goku lands ahead of the group in Super Saiyan. everyone run, Goku roars. What he knows about Vegeta is that he's unpredictable. There's nothing that he'll shy away from. Seeing his eyes, he can see they've gotten even more lifeless and sinister. Chances are, nothing good will come of the sea fighters spectating this fight. Alarmed by the urgency in his voice, the fighters scatter and leave room for the two Super Saiyans. Vegeta gives off this maniacal smile upon looking at Goku. After all these years training he's put to the test, he can finally claim Goku as his victim. He doesn't say a word and begins his ascension to his Super Vegeta form. He grows bulkier and even more menacing. Vegeta lets off insane laughter in anticipation of his incoming battle. His Saiyan blood is bubbling. He cannot wait. Vegeta speeds off toward his target, taking a massive, powerful swing at him. Goku evades peacefully and without much effort at all. Vegeta tries another attack, but Goku grabs his fist. His grab stops him, brings him to a complete stop. Once he stops him, he just looks into his eyes and feels this intense, bothersome confliction. He wants to let Vegeta live, but he also sees a man that can't really be brought back to the light. Goku continues in this way, kind of just looking at Vegeta while he knocks away his incoming attacks. Vegeta pulls up both of his fists, then hurls them both down with a vehement shout. Goku just grabs them both by the wrist, and this brings Vegeta to a complete stop once again. Goku pulls back both of his arms and lands a clean knee to his chest. This single attack drops Vegeta to his knees and makes him cough out blood. For a good few seconds he remains still and silent, just totally taken aback at how powerful that impact was. Once he comes back to his senses, he goes into Rush Goku but receives a punch straight to his chest. He drops straight back onto his hands and knees, struggling to breathe. I don't want to kill you, Vegeta, but I can't let you carry on like this. I don't know what happened, but you're different. You were bad before, yes, but now you're a monster. You can't change. You're right, Vegeta says before coughing out blood. I can't and won't change, he roars before standing. Vegeta is beyond fuming. The amount of anger and bloodlust coursing through his veins is almost making him go crazy. As he lifts though, he finds himself on the ground again. His legs can't hold his weight. His mind and body aren't working together. Goku hears this and lifts his hand toward him. He can feel his eyes watering as he does this. If that's the case with Vegeta, if he really won't change, he can't let him run around and do as he pleases. So that will conclude the fourth part to what if Goku had the Speed Force. Please tell me something you liked about this part or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.